This is the brand new Recon Scout by Cold Steel. This is the 3V variant, and so I'm really excited about this test today. It came extremely sharp, and even the false edge swedge, it's not shaving sharp. It won't really like slash a plastic bottle open, but it will cut saran wrap, and it's surprisingly sharp, which could be good for a combat utility situation. Also could be bad if you wanted to do some batoning, but I've been very impressed with just how beefy this knife is. I'm expecting this to perform very well today. This is the Trailmaster clone by MTech, the MT151, and so here's a size comparison for you. This is a 7.5-inch blade right here. This is a 9.5-inch blade, and yeah, so I guess let's get on with this test. One more thing. I am using the factory edge, and it is touched up though, because apparently the only thing that can really dull 3V is a Cold Steel Secure X sheath. So I've been taking this in and out of the sheath, and you know, I've been drawing it, playing with it and everything, and then I went and cut a piece of paper, and it really wouldn't cut the piece of paper anymore because the Secure X sheath will wipe off that really fresh, sharp edge. And so don't really care for that, but the sheath does work out well. It just kind of will dull the edge a bit. And so I am wanting to play with the grind on this, get my belt sander after it and make it a little bit thinner. But let's go ahead and test it and see how it performs against the Tree of Truth. 1 minute. All right, the edge looks good, no surprise there. And since it is 3V, I want to see if it's still shaving here at this point. It's still taking hair. And I just noticed I did not prove that it was paper cutting sharp. But hey, if it's still shaving here, you can trust that it started off cutting paper. So speaking of cutting paper, let's try that out. It seems to already have some snags in it. I want to go a little bit lower and see if it's shaving here right there. Yeah, it's even taking hair where the snags are at, so that's interesting. I'm going to continue to chop with it, but this is the factory angle with some touching up of ceramic and strop. So it'll be interesting to see if this performs better with a better edge placed on it. So let's set it up. I'm just going to go ahead, well, let's keep it 30-second blast. All right. I gotta say, these Recon handles, oh man, they're just such a joy to use compared to the Warcraft Tanto with the G10 handles. When it comes to chopping, you can just put a lot of pressure and it absorbs so much shock, and I really love that about the handle. Okay, it's shaving at the very tip, but I'm not hitting too much wood with the tip, so that explains that. But in this area where I'm doing most of the chopping, it is not shaving anymore. Let's get a fresh piece of paper out. Okay, it is cutting the paper, but it's not cutting it very cleanly. I'm suspecting that this blade is actually going to perform a lot better with a thinner edge on it. Let's go ahead and do another 30 seconds. Doing a lot of ripping of the paper. That was a pretty clean cut right there, but you can still see the ridges. You can still see the little particles from it cutting slash tearing. Let's do another 30 seconds. So again, my hand is not really fatigued at all. I really like how this feels as a chopping blade, although I would like the full-size Trailmaster, and it'd be really cool if they made a 3V Trailmaster. But I kind of think what's going to happen, especially with this factory edge, it's going to kind of have a sucky edge for a long time. So let's get out a fresh piece of paper. So kind of a tear, another big tear. So it's not cutting the best at this point in the test. So I'm going to go ahead and call it right there. And I want to go ahead and just get a few go-overs with the ceramic. let's see how this cuts. Beautifully. Much better. Very easy to touch up. So honestly, I think to kind of conclude this test, my semi blades did perform better with this particular test. But the problem is that both that Tanto, the Tanto 12, and the Trailmaster, those edges were highly modified with my belt sander and getting them very thin and sharp. And so I think we're definitely going to do this test again, and I'm going to thin out the bevel just a little bit, and I think we're going to see that this 3V is going to perform extremely well. It definitely didn't perform bad, it's just to the point where the edge isn't all that great, and I think it's just going to hold that not so great edge for a very long time. Which honestly, like for a survival type of knife, it's not a bad thing. But I just remember those Semi 3 Trailmaster and Tanto 12 holding a much better edge than this. But again, those blades I had owned for, I've owned the Tanto 12 for over a year, have definitely done a good bit of sharpening modifications to it. And that Trailmaster I owned for over 10 years, and that Trailmaster is with another owner now. But I think this is going to perform extremely well with some fine tuning. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day.